Tried to pay as close attention as I can to the situation out here. Most of the resources actually end up going to women. Um, Oftentimes it's women out here who have children, or women in houses who have children. The situation with that, though, is that that's supposed to be a separate thing from disability. We've also got the fact that these cops keep saying things that are outright lies, like they can't do their job because of funding. No, they lost their funding because they didn't do their jobs. Now, as far as the funding that we have left for them, I mean, we get to see once in a great while that the cops might actually do for something for somebody. Of course, it's got to be a pregnant woman or a woman with a child most of the time. But the rest of the time, I mean, cops are Nazis all over the country. And of course, there's training. They're taught how to de-escalate situations. They just don't. And then, of course, we've got these officers who everybody's trying to have them defunded, right? Well, that's because they keep doing illegal stuff instead of doing their jobs. Now they're still doing the illegal stuff and still not doing their jobs. And then they're using the defunding as an excuse not to do their jobs. Now that's just, well, complete BS. Now, of course, I do agree with a great many of my counterparts out here that the cops should be strung up in public by their necks. And that is something I agree with, but I also do believe in a fair trial. So before we string these guys up by their necks, we should make sure that they have committed a crime that is worthy of such a thing. Now, as far as the death penalty here in the United States, there's very specific criteria, and that also varies from state to state. Now, as we all know, police officers do get special treatment. Well, it's illegal for them to break the law that they do, but they'll get special leniency. They've also got special tricks, like the situation with Natalie's case. The cops did everything that they could to try to frame me for a murder I didn't commit. And then, when that didn't work, they tried to frame me for assaults I didn't commit. And you know, there is not a cop in America that I would trust not to do those things. Not a single one. Now, I have been paying attention when people tell me which officers are good and which ones are bad. For the most part, they're all bad. There's one of them that they told me is, well, they said he's not a crooked cop. But then, of course, when they went and explained what he does, it just sounded to me like a whole bunch of homeless harassment. And, yeah, that's crooked. That is crooked. You don't have to be on the take to be crooked. Let's say you got a crush on a girl, right? And you got a badge. And let's say she doesn't like somebody. So you make that person who she didn't like, you make his life hell. And you got a badge, so you're going to get away with it. Well, that's what most of us are dealing with out here. We don't fit the criteria to be considered a human being. And since we don't fit the criteria to be considered a human being, it's just rampant victimization and being told it's our fault, we wanted it, needed it, chose it, and deserved it because of our gender, because of our looks. Whatever excuse you can make, you'll validate it somehow. That doesn't actually make it valid, however. Now, like I said, I do wholeheartedly agree with most of my counterparts out here about stringing these fuckers up by their necks. But it has to be done legally. That's the way I look at it. If you have to hide it, well, chances are you're being dishonest. And that's the one thing that, well, was absolutely necessary through all of this, is for there to be somebody who actually cared about me to actually take care of this stuff with me instead of telling me go here and go there and so on and so forth. Go by yourself. You have to do it by yourself. And you look at my predators. They didn't do it by themselves. They had nothing but help. And then, of course, you blame me for the abuse that I take over these asswipes. And that lady leaves these little tobacco bites all over the place. lady named Jamie. She smokes cigars. Anyway, the young lady who's with me, we went up to the DHS office that she needed to go to this morning. She filled out her paperwork and got that taken care of, so there's that. God, my armpits are friggin' stinky. Woo. Anyway, I suppose for the sake of getting stuff done, I'm going to head back up to the DHHS with that lady. And then once we're concluded there, I guess we're going to be coming back here. This place closes at 2:30. And then, let's see. After that, hopefully at some point today, Dan gets a hold of me. It's Friday again. This should not be this impossible, you know? Like those cops, the ones that I've had to deal with, the ones who have been complete and total asshats, the ones that have gone out of their way to threaten, harass, and intimidate me, both here and in Hood River. You know, I don't have all their names, but I got enough of their cards to be able to sort them out. As far as my cameras go and my recordings go with them, you know, that's important stuff. That's one of the things where if you're going to have any sort of interaction with the police, you do need to record it. And any government agency that's going to refuse to record it, do not work with them. The first thing you do is go down and file a complaint because they are trying to harm you using the system. You do have rights. And of course, these are supposed to be, according to the Constitution, inalienable rights. But we can see in recent times, in recent days, well, the cops don't give a holy shit about your fucking laws. They don't give a shit about right and wrong. What they care about is covering for their asswipe buddies. Anyway, after I get done up there at the DHHS, and I'm not sure if they'll have anybody ready for me yet or not, but once I get done there, I'll try to make another video. What the fuck? Oh, great. Yeah, that was smart. I just smashed my keys. Anyway, after that, hopefully I'll be able to get somebody to help advocate for me so I can try to get some of this stuff done because, I mean, these services I see, they're capable of doing things. They're capable of doing it immediately, you know? But when it comes to me, I mean, here it is. I've been in Hood fucking River or in the Dalles for, you know, over a week now, and holy shit, going to all these services, nobody's calling me back, nobody's getting back a hold of me, nobody's assisting me with any of this shit, and meanwhile, I can't do it by myself. That's the problem with my disabilities. My predators have preyed on my disabilities most of my life, but what I've gone through in the last 6 years is absolutely not okay. Anyway, you know how we end these videos. Good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper and no victim left behind.